I know. Well, there she is, cutting her cake on her birthday, wifey. 29. You gotta take the first taste too. Let us know how it tastes, okay?
It's like an orange cake.
What do you think of it? What'd you say? It's good?
It is good.
It's a strawberry. I wanted it to be strawberry.
Right.
And then our daughter, she's going to get some.
I don't know what y'all are doing.
And then we got Pat here.
Hello.
And then her granddaughter Haley, Grandma, and Mary Jane, and a cousin Nancy. And then there's, I feel like that news show on Fox, Outnumbered. I'm the only guy here. Good thing I got 4 male dogs to keep me company. There is wifey's Valentine flowers I got her because she likes yellow. You like yellow, honey?
Yellow roses.
Yeah, and they were nice. They were a nice bunch right there. It's pretty cold out there, so I think what I'm going to do, it's cold by Arkansas standards, you know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a soup. I'm going to make one out of soybean paste. Normally this soup is made out of fermented soybean paste, but you know, I didn't ferment it. It takes months to ferment it, you know, weeks and weeks. And that mold that gets into the soybean gives it a really good flavor. And of course I don't have that time, and I don't have that desire to do it right now. However, I did whip up some anchovy and seaweed broth. I cooked the anchovies with the seaweed. You've seen me do that before. And we have some diced potatoes, diced onions, some zucchini that was grown in the garden. It was sliced. It's a little bit smaller than I'd like, but it'll work fine. And you're supposed to put some shrimp in it. Well, I'm not going to use, I was going to use that large shrimp from that large ring that I bought. I don't want to do that. I still have some of this shrimp right here, and I'm going to go ahead and, it's salted shrimp. I'm going to go ahead and put me about 2, 3, maybe a couple of tablespoons of it in there. Then I'm going to rinse it on it. I'm going to take it over and rinse it out, you know, all the salt off it and everything, and that's where we're going to get our shrimp to cook our soup in this tukpegi. It's called tukpegi. Tukpegi. And then, of course, we're going to add some garlic. And the soybean paste is in here. I'll be adding about, maybe a couple of tablespoons full of that. I'm not going to make a whole lot. I'm going to try not to fill this bowl up all the way. I'd probably wind up doing it anyway, but I'm going to try not to. Depends on how thick it is. And then the last thing we're going to add is a little salt, little pepper, and I'm going to put some medium firm tofu. Okay, so let's get started on that. We're going to be cooking this, by the way, over that little Coleman stove that I bought that takes the cylinders. So what I'm going to do is put in a little bit of that sauce like that. That's again, that's anchovies and seaweed. Okay, I just boiled it together in a pot. You've seen me do it before. And then I just strained out the anchovies and the seaweed and left just the broth. And now we'll go ahead and get it on that little burner and add some of the potatoes and all this other stuff and water, and we'll see what happens. And this is the primary reason I bought this thing, because I want to be able to cook on the gas, use the gas to cook this stoneware here. And there she goes. Now we'll just let her heat up. I'll start adding the vegetables. Alright, we're about to rinse our little, go ahead and rinse it over here. It'll probably fog up the screen a little bit. Go a little bit slower, I think. Just kind of rinse it out. That's all I'm going to do. Alright. Get all that salt out of there. It's what I want to do. Our broth is starting to boil a little bit, so what I'm going to do is turn down the old gas here. I'm not going to cook it on really super high flame in the beginning. Alright, potatoes, zucchini, and onions are in there. Now we'll just let it kind of cook there for a while. It took the heat down quite a bit on that, so I'll probably increase the flame just a little. We're just going to go ahead, now when it gets hot, I'll go ahead and add the bean paste. But right now we're going to throw a little bit of garlic in it. Well, not right now. We'll wait till it gets hotter again. Then we'll throw some garlic in it. let it cook for a while, throw our shrimp in there, and then put our bean paste, and then we'll see what happens after that. And we'll add a little water to that. I want to be able to at least cover those vegetables. So now we have a mixture of that seaweed, anchovy, stock, and now the little bit of water, a little bit of broth, a little bit of water. Broth was the word I was searching for and couldn't find it. All right, let's go ahead. It's getting hot now again. Let's go ahead and add the shrimp. Now normally, like I said, you would get some big old shrimp, cut it yourself up into pieces. But this has had the salt all washed off it. For those of you who don't like shrimp, so that's the way it goes. Sorry about that. This is good stuff. I like shrimp. I've always liked shrimp. I like seafood a lot. When I was in Japan one time, there was this street vendor who had a little, almost like a hot dog cart, like you would find on the, well, at least you used to find on the streets in New York. I guess they still have them. And you'd go up there, and he had these fish stretched out on a, it was squid on a stick. I've never seen anything like it. It was all fanned out on a couple of sticks, and then it was all flat. And he was cooking it on charcoal, one side and then the other. And I said, we'll give that a try. I think I paid him 100 yen for one of them. Just some poor guy trying to make some money, trying to make a living. And I went ahead and ate it, and it wasn't the best stuff in the world, but at least I gave it a shot. It was more rubbery, and it had been probably a little bit overcooked on that charcoal. There's no telling how long he cooked it there. He kept flipping it one way and then the other. But, hey, I said, hey, I gave it a try, Did I ever go buy any more? No. Well, as you can see, I have the flame down really low. It's still boiling pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and add a little bit of garlic. I say a little bit, about a tablespoon and a half. Supposed to usually you put 4 cloves, but I like a lot of garlic, so I don't know if a tablespoon and a half equals 4 cloves or not. Don't care. I'll know by the smell. When it starts to smell good, I'll know, okay? Alright, next thing to go in is let's get some bean paste in there. And here comes the bean paste. Just regular old soybean that I smushed up and ground up in the blender. And what I'm going to do is put about half again as much as that in there that you just saw. And then we'll let it melt down and stir it all around in there. Alright, a little bit of pepper on there, a little bit of just regular old pepper out of the can. I don't have one of those pepper grinders and all that uptown stuff. I'm country boy. Country boy! About the best we can do on that is like a box of sea salt. But guess what? All salt comes from the sea. Anyway, some people think they're getting something special, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we'll let that simmer now for a while until the potato fully cooks. I tasted it. It seems to have just about the right amount of salt, but I may have to add just a little bit more. I don't believe what just happened. I was going to pick through all my stuff here and see if I had any soybean or soy sauce over there, different kind of soy sauce. I was going to add just a touch of soy sauce to this. And I see this jar back there, and I said, what is this jar? And I picked it up, because I have another jar similar to it right there. So I picked up this jar, and I looked at it, what the heck is this? And look what it says. It says, soybean paste fermented. I said, where the heck did that come from? So I went and asked Wifey. I said, Wifey, where did you buy this stuff? And she says, yeah, I think I did a little while ago. Oh man, here I am buying beans, cooking them for days, smushing them up, and the whole time there was some fermented soybean paste right here. Son of a gun, it hasn't even been opened up yet. I didn't even know I had it. I'm going to have to, let me open this stuff up and give it a smell. I've never really smelled the fermented stuff, but we're going to put some in our soup. Yes, we are. I don't believe this. Well, that's what it looks like. Regular old dark bean paste. I smelled it. It doesn't smell much different than the other stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and take a spoonful of it, or a tablespoonful of it, maybe 1 tablespoonful of it, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it in there, let it melt around, then I'll taste it. I'll let you know if there's any difference. Wifey says she must have just forgot to tell me she bought it. Alright, it's been cooking for a while. It's still cooking. I'm going to let her, I got it on very low heat again, very low flame. Just barely there. Maybe I can turn down even a little further. Let me look. There we go. Alright. Let's see what it tastes like with that fermented soybean paste in there. Man, that is good. We're just going to let that sit there and simmer in my tukbegi with the lid on. I got some rice cooking right now too to go with it. Along with our soybean soup, now fermented soybean soup, we're going to go ahead and have a little seaweed. These are cut square and seasoned seaweed. They come in a package. I'll open them up later, let you see them. And we're going to take some of my homemade kimchi as a little kind of a side dish to go with the rice. You all remember the kimchi I made a while back. Boy, I'll tell you what, this stuff smells better every time I eat it. I take a lot of it to work with me all the time. Eat it with the rice that wife gives me. Good stuff. Smells great still. By the way, you can keep this stuff in the refrigerator for a long, long time. Just keep it sealed up with a lid. The last thing to go into our soup are, I've cut up some what they call medium firm tofu. Medium firm tofu. It comes in soft, medium, and I imagine hard, but this stuff here isn't as squishy and soft and mushy as the soft that I used on that kimchi, sundubu, jjigae. And then jjigae, actually I've heard it pronounced two ways, jjigae and jjigae. So we'll put in as much as will hold in that soup without overflowing the whole thing. I don't want to waste the tofu. I like the tofu after it's soaked in different broths. We'll go ahead and get all that in there. See if we can't fit it all. Well, I was able to fit that whole half a package of tofu in there, but of course I had to spoon out a little bit of liquid so it wouldn't flow over the top. We just let it simmer there for about 3 more minutes. And the rice is done. I've just got it on very low heat now, and we'll be ready to eat. Well, I'll be eating alone tonight because the wifey does not like shrimp, she does not like kimchi, and she does not like seaweed. So all of this stuff here is for me. Isn't that right, honey? Yeah. She doesn't like any of it. Neither does her mom, old grandma here. She doesn't like any of that. But so I'll just eat it all by my lonesome here. I got my transmitter going, playing some old time music. Got Lena Horne singing right now. All right. And the wifey and her mom, they like rice, but they don't like all this other stuff that goes with it. That's such a shame because it's so good. The way this rice, this seaweed works is you get it in bag. You can get it in large sheets and tear it off any size you want. Just kind of rip and tear as you go, or you can get them pre-cut. These are roasted and seasoned, and they are very good. What you do is you take a little rice out of your thing, put it in the center, and then you put a little kimchi on top and roll it up just like you would a cigarette, and stuff the entire thing in your yap and start chewing. It's delicioso, which I'm going to do right now. I'll set one up and show you. Well, there we go. Rice, kimchi, seaweed. Just kind of do it like that. The Japanese even pile more stuff on top, and so do the Chinese than I do. I just kind of usually go with the kimchi and the rice. And I put a little bit of salt and pepper on my rice. I like that. Let's wolf the first one down. Man, that kimchi is still delicious. Let's go a little bit with the soup here. Try one of the taters. Now look, you gotta slurp. You gotta slurp if you're eating Korean food. Because in Korea, that's what they do. If you don't slurp, it doesn't taste good. It's considered rude not to slurp. Whereas in the United States, it's considered rude if you do slurp. A matter of cultural differences, people. I see some people on the YouTube channel from Manji, the one that gives me these really great recipes, and some of them will criticize her because she always tastes her stuff, at the end of the YouTube video, and she does a little bit of slurping and everything. That's customary in Korea, okay, people? Perfectly acceptable. Anyway, I'm going to finish my meal. I hope you all like what I did. If not, hey, you're missing out on some great victuals. Boy, this stuff is so. I'm gonna give me some. Try some of this tofu. Man, that is so good. I should have made this a long time ago. I like this better than I did the kimchi stuff I made. The kimchi jjigae, the sundubu jjigae. This is really good. Anyway, until next time, this is John. Oh yeah. For its maiden voyage, the little Coleman stove worked perfectly.